But to thank y'all for coming out today. I'm Crazy Dee, and of course this is the Michael Jackson Tribute Showcase, and also Cancer Research Showcase. We're taking donations. We have a donation bureau right over there with my pops, so you know, just drop the donations right in, all voluntary, you know what I mean? So here we go. First thing that I want to talk about today, which is a little bit off topic from the what the showcase is about the radio and the lack of love that the radio has shown independent artists. Okay, now this is real serious business. Now Kathy Hughes has this campaign going where she talks about how Berry Gordy could cut the record right there at his house studio, because that's what that was. That was a house studio right there in a residential neighborhood. Grab the record, run down to the radio station and get the radio station DJ to put it on just like that. And it was a black-owned radio station. Now I don't know how long you've been in Cleveland, or, you know, saying how old you are or whatnot, but I don't remember a time when I could be in my home studio, cut the record, and run straight down to black-owned radio, 93, 107.9. Shoot, we can go back to 108. It was playing an urban style of music, and get them to just put this record on. Right, so my question, since we've been having these showcases the last few times, I've been asking people, like, if black radio tanked, would it make a difference to the independent artist? I mean, so I'm going to ask you, if black radio tanked, would it make a difference to the independent artist?
No, hell no, Crazy Dee. Hell no.
So, and my next question is, wouldn't it help the situation? Let's think about it for a minute before you answer. Would it help the situation if black radio just conked out altogether? Would it help us as independents in Cleveland? Now, other people can have a debate in other cities, but right here in Cleveland, knowing the history of Cleveland, starting with the bands in Cleveland in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, and coming into the 90s with the hip-hop, and how many times people have been trying, and how they keep on focusing on trying to get their record played on the radio. Wouldn't it help us if radio was gone?
No.
Yes, I think it would, Craig.
We got all the page.
Because everybody wants to be programmed.
And that's my point. That's exactly my point. I think that black radio should tank.
Flat out.
It's just what it is, because it's going to help us more, because people are already listening to more mixtapes than they do to the radio. If you turn on the radio, they say, I've never been there to see the box, but it's a little box, and they say what you can play, and then in between time you have a free record to play, and then the DJs choose what they want to play, something old, you know what I'm saying, instead of something new. So they have something hour on the hour that you're going to be playing these records. That leaves no space for the independent artists. So I think that the radio station should tank unless they stop telling these lies and saying that people won't, the advertisers won't advertise on the radio if they hear nothing but local music. That's a lie. Because the radio is the programming that makes things hot. How many things do you hear on the radio for the first time when it first breaks and you say, oh, yeah, that's whack. Right? I mean, you hear it and you say, but then you keep on playing it, they keep on playing it, and within a month, it's a hit. And people want to hear it in the clubs like it's a hit. So that, to me, in my opinion, is a lie. That the advertisers wouldn't keep paying. That's a lie. And this is real serious. This is the main point I'm getting to. What would people be doing if they didn't have a hip-hop train? What would people be doing in the streets right now?
I'd be getting mine right by now. I'd be getting mine.
You see what I'm saying?
No means necessary.
So I mean, this is real serious business. So if you have an entity that everybody is pretty much beholden to, every artist always says, "I want to hear my record played on the radio. I want to have my video on TV." If you have an industry or entity, a business entity that you know what's going on, you were once a help to the black community. You know what's going on in the black community, and you know that hip hop is, besides education, number one, sports scholarships that still get you education, right? Then the third thing is in the entertainment, hip hop music, which affords you an education later on, right? It's still the same thing. If you know that this is the main thing that's keeping people eating and want to feed their families off of it, then you're not really for the community. That's my stance. They're really not for the community. They can say community all day, all night, but if they're not about getting an independent on radio and they know what the alternative would be, then they're not for the community. So that's why they need to tank. Or some people need to lose their jobs. And, you know, I'm all for black people, right? But it's time for the real. This music needs to get played from out your city, or you need to stop saying that you're for the community. Say that you're for the corporation. Say it over the air. I'm for the more music, no hip hop, less talk, but for the corporation. But not for the community. Period. So that's why we do these showcases, so that people can be seen, can be heard, and their music can blast out past this. But for us to be sane, I think, just my opinion, for us to be sane, radio, black radio, in the form that it is right now, has to tank. It has to go out. You know, and that means a lot. People say, "Whoa, look what black radio did, all this," but they're not doing it now. They're not doing it now. That's disingenuous to sit up there and say that on a PSA, on a public service announcement about the bill that's saying that 50% of the music. Okay, let's take that for 1 second. Let's break off to that 1 second. Now, the music industry is broke down into writers and people who perform. And hip hop music is unique because the people who write their lyrics, for the most part, also are the performers of the lyrics. So that shows genius, because before, somebody would write the song and then they would get someone to interpret the song singing, right? So the whole bill is about paying the artists who never wrote the music, but, you know, artists go out on the road and they perform, and that's how they get paid, right? So they're saying, we're going to pay the artists from the performance, people who have never wrote anything. So it's something new, right? 50% of it goes to the artists who never wrote anything. 50% of it goes to the record company. You know, that's the same people who beat artists before from out of money. Okay, so that's cool. So let's look at it that way. Let's look at it from the artist's point of view. If you never wrote anything, but you're starving, and John Conyers came up with this bill, wouldn't you want that bill? So that every time your record played, you would get paid? Right? Right? So still, the radio station still isn't for the people, because they know that these people are starving, right? Who can't get up on stage, or they get in their 70s and their 80s and they can't get back up on stage again, right? But then you can look at it the other way. I'm looking at it the other way that I'm getting ready to say now. I said that they got into it and they knew that they didn't write music, and they knew that the way that they would make it is through performance, right? So that reason I don't agree with the bill, because 50% of it is going towards the record company that always beat the artist anyway. So if 100% of it was going towards the artist in form of health care,